professional. A couple of interesting things about these finals. One, these players have actually not played before in the All-Invitational. They've managed to juke each other and avoid each other. But in the poof era of the All-Invitational, see here, we have never had a victor until tonight. Now, I'm not spoiling anything because both of these players, Rhizer and Meme Lord, have won a round or a season, of the All Invitational. So we're guaranteed to have our first repeat winner. Also, we're facing 1 and 2 in the ELO ranking. So this is the best of the best. We have Meme Lord at 1678 and Rhizer right behind him at 1653. Wagon in third is even 100 points behind them. So this is the upper epsilon. Epsilon?
Epsilon?
No, epsilon. Epsilon. Of players here. So, so we're guaranteed some good games. This is exciting. Alright, I'm ready whenever you are.
Alright. I guess we'll go into game number 1 here.
Oh yeah, and the other thing is, whoever wins will reclaim the prize as being the most winningest player when it comes to earnings in the All-Invitational. Both of these players have won the same amount of money, which has been life-changing for them. Feel free to talk to them if you want to hear about how it's changed their life. In the upper left-hand position at 11 o'clock, in the red position, we have all-in technical, but no 4.
He's the first.
He's the first. And in the bottom right-hand position, in the purple position, we have Rhizer.
Representing Bollywood.
Power of Bollywood. Good luck, have fun. Man, if no cheese comes after that statement, I will be very, very worried.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm actually pretty excited to see this series. This is on the new patch, so we're gonna see these two players, bring out some nice, fresh new builds. We've all seen, those same builds over and over again for probably, the past year or so. And, Legacy of the Void, we've seen that stupid fucking DT drop build like a million times. But now, we're gonna see some real builds, some nice builds, some fresh ones.
So, I bet you $60, Siegfried, that Rhizer will not build a mothership core this entire series.
I think we already know the answer to that one. Also, if you want to bet with Boo.
Bet with Boo? Is Boo notoriously bad at it?
Yeah, he's a sucker.
He's a sucker. Hey, Boo, I bet Rhizer won't build a mothership this whole map, or this whole match. Take me up on it.
Yeah, I know Technical and Boo had a bet for Sue winning the last GSL he was in, and Technical made off pretty handily. I don't remember how much they bet, but...
Oh, man. So we have a side core coming down, and so I'm going to guess he's going to start Warp Gate. Oh, man, I am a great Protoss. Okay, so wait, now he's chronoing a Stalker. Okay, so I'm going to start chronoing a Stalker when I play. He's not going to chrono it again because then he'll waste some chrono.
Yeah, so one thing I kind of want to point out is we've seen Technical take his Marine and scout near the upper area. So what he's doing there is he's scouting for a proxy Stargate, because as we've all seen the Reddit clips, we know how OP the 3-minute Oracle is. So he was just scouting for that to see if he needed to prepare for it. But luckily he doesn't. Now I know Logan, or Technical, really likes his Cyclones in this matchup, so we can probably expect to see a lot of those.
I do really like Cyclones. They did get their little upgrade buff where their first missiles shoot a little bit quicker when it comes to anti-air, so they can definitely fend off things like oracles a little bit better, but they're still the most pew-pewiest unit in the game.
Yeah. One thing too, I guess in this straight-up game, I think Cyclones are actually a bit worse now, just because of the Stalker changes.
Yep, I guess, yeah.
So since you are rewarded a lot more for micro and stalkers, I find it's just so much. I don't want to say it's not easier, but it's more like a Protoss player who micros their stalkers versus Cyclones is rewarded doubly, as opposed to like before the patch. They would obviously be rewarded, but just they didn't get the same benefit as they do now, where their shots time out a bit better and they do more damage, and plus they avoid damage.
Yeah, and you can. It looks like these Marines are actually caught out in the open. But as you were sort of saying, that Mimlor or Technical definitely likes to put the pressure on early, and he's actually going to snipe this pylon, taking out all of Rhizer's tech. Those shield batteries in the front ain't going to do you much good if I must call them Tech 4 now. If Mimlor or Technical is in the back.
Yeah, and Technical being pretty conservative there, actually going to pull out those Cyclones before he takes too much damage on them. And to force Rhizer to make a lot of pylons that he might not want to have wanted to make all of those.
No, definitely not. As you can see, usually when that happens, you get a tasteless pylon. But then he also has this pylon over here, which you can kind of see. You can tell it's the wolf pylon because it's a little bit further away from the other two pylons. Even though it wants to be right there, they sort of keep their distance. All right, so he even scans to make sure that those pylons, he didn't cancel those pylons, and therefore his buildings were still unpowered.
Yeah, just want to make sure.
Okay. And it looks like he scans the Twilight Council, so he'll be known to prepare for either some blink or some charge or some adept, little faster pew-pews.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of interested to see for Technical going back this game, or not going back this game. I mean, he's going for bio, and he's always a player I've kind of known for his mech play, and I was kind of hoping we could see some maybe mass Cyclones and tanks and TVP, but looks like he's going to stick with bio for now, actually.
Yeah, we'll see how it works out for him this game. See if it doesn't work out for him, maybe he'll switch in the end. Maybe go back next game, switch back to mech. But it looks like he does cancel that third with those two Cyclones. So those Cyclones are definitely worth their weight in gold right now. Being annoying on both fronts.
Yeah, and even though they didn't kill the probe, actually, that probe went all the way back to go mine at the natural. So it had to go all the way back to the third base again to replant that. So pretty annoying for Rhizer.
Do probes know what all the zealots are thinking?
I don't know. Are probes conscious?
Sure.
Because they just make like beeping noises. I assume they were just like robots.
Robots. But I guess it's not like where they put your soul back in it or wherever.
That would fucking suck if you that did happen.
Came back as a probe.
Yeah, they're like, okay, I know you lost your life on the battlefield defending your country, but we want you to just shoot this laser at some fucking space rocks for the rest of your life. Oh, and watch it for Widow Mines.
Yeah, and I know how you were the tough badass warrior before, but now you just died to everything.
Yeah. We couldn't afford to give you the same shields as a mortal.
So, those two Cyclones were able to pick off another pylon. The space does get up, but Technical seeing if he can put an end to that. He definitely is making a push here. They're going to pick off a tank. That's actually a great play from Rhizer, waiting for that last tank to show its butt and just pick it off real quick. But okay, he does back out. It was recharged, and he's going to go in.
Yeah, that was a really nice blink from Rhizer there. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to be enough to save this base. But the thing is, Rhizer is okay losing this base. Back at home for Technical, we can see that he's still on 2 bases. So, Technical really wants to end the game with this push, or at least do significant economic damage. And he didn't kill any probes with this push yet, he's only killed that 3rd base.
He's looking to set up in this nice spot where he can, have some coverage of the natural. But it looks like he's fighting a little bit away from his tanks here. So Rhizer was able to get some good damage in with that Colossus, and Immortals being able to give some splash and some hard-hitting damage.
Yeah, and really, I think Technical needs to back off with these units. He's just going to lose them. Because Rhizer has Blink, and he has a significant amount of Stalkers. So I think at this point, this force here needs to get away. Like, he needs to get these out. Meanwhile, though, we do have a drop coming in at the bottom area there. Maybe the point is for these units to stay here is to draw the units out so this drop can do better.
Yeah, it looks like they're doing just that, whether he wanted to or not. And it looks like there's actually even a tank in here, so there's going to be some good damage coming out. It looks like, is he going to catch this Colossus? He is, but he's... Oh, okay, he did recall, saving that Colossus. That would have been a really nice catch to get that Colossus as soon as it came out. But he actually sniped the robo it came from. So that Colossus did not know its home for very long.
Yeah. And back at home, we see Technical getting Vikings now, which is really good. Sniping that robo is going to allow him to kind of get a head start on the Viking production.
Yeah, keeping that count down. We'll see if that makes Rhizer something else like Archons of the sort where Vikings are a lot less useful.
Yeah.
But it looks like now it's time for Rhizer to push across the map. We'll see if he takes a look at this defense setup and he sees that if he wants to break that or not.
Yeah. Important to note, we don't have any Marauders in the comp here for Technical. It's just straight Marine Tank Viking.
Oh, that is true.
So these Marines are going to be very brittle, especially with 3 Colossus here. The Vikings are getting some good shots off on a Colossus, but they're not being targeted correctly. So actually one of these Colossus is going to live a bit better than longer than it should have maybe. But still, at the end of the day, this force is going to get completely cleaned up for both sides actually. But the thing is, Technical has a 3rd base completed, and Rhizer does not.
That is true, and he's flowing it out right now. And he still has all of his Vikings, or most of his Vikings, so it doesn't look like Colossus are going to be too helpful in the picture to come. But yeah, but there's not a lot of damage here. I mean, we got the 1 Immortal, 6 Marines headed down. We have as many Vikings as we do Marines. So, maybe he's just looking for a quick cancel and back up, but we'll see if Rhizer can put an end to that.
Yeah, and looks like Rhizer actually deciding to go for Disruptors. You know what the new Disruptors are like?
I know a little bit about them, but they require micro, so I don't use them. Yeah. I think when their center ball hits something, then they explode. Yeah,
that's pretty much it. So they're actually really good now, I think. Of course, they do have a kind of like a bigger possibility to be microed versus, if that makes sense. Because you can send one unit out, but still very hard to react to.
And actually, one of the things that is definitely helping Rhizer out in this fight is we have a DT with 7 kills. That definitely, without that, Rhizer very well could have lost this base again, but it was able just to slowly pick up units in the back.
Yeah,
and it actually looks like there's DTs in both of, or 2 of the 3. Oh no, there it's in the 3rd. It's in all 3 of his bases.
Yeah, and this is actually really big. The worker count was close to 60 before this happened, and now he's at 37 workers.
And that just hurts. And they're even getting reactors, which just take so long to build.
Yeah, and especially so with the style of Terran that Technical was kind of going for here, the idea of it is almost to just keep like a constant pressure so that you have full control of the game. And when something like this happens where you lose 30 workers, especially when you've delayed your worker production for so long, it really just sets you back in the game. You're not where you expected to be. So this is going to be really bad for Technical because his name's kind of a mouthful actually. But Gonna be tough for him to come back because he definitely feels a bit disoriented right now. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. So he's making a push out, see if he can even out this count. But he's got to watch out for these disruptors. He's doing some good preemptive splitting. But here comes one. There it goes. And another one. Another good chunk of units. But let's see if this is enough. If Rhizer has enough to sort of stave off this attack. He is pulling the probes. So let's see how many he'll in this exchange.
And with even upgrades here, we have +2 armor and +1 attack. And the opposite, actually, for the Terran player. Like, these Stalkers, they can trade well versus Bio with even upgrades. So, with these reinforcements, though, Technical might be able to keep continuing this push. He is low on medevac energy, though, so he does have a timer here, especially since he did stim to get across the map. These units are going to be a bit low on health.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I mean, essentially, medevacs aren't even there. Ooh, that one disruptor ball catches a lot of his own DTs, but is it going to be enough?
Yeah, this is really
close.
Really close, yeah.
And he pulls the probes again. Ooh, that ball almost got off, but it was, the workers were able to kill it in time. Or not the workers, the Marines were able to kill it in time. And Technical pulls off the close victory.
Yeah. You can see how close the supplies were, 36-30. That was a very close game.
And that was... It almost looked like Rhizer was able to hold that off multiple times, but just a little edge there. Technical was able to capitalize on it and come away with the win. I really do think that disruptor ball hitting those DTs as well definitely put a damper on the defense from Rhizer there. I mean, with those couple of DTs, I forget if a scan went down, but I mean, if he didn't have a scan ready, doesn't mean that Rhizer's going to win, but he definitely holds off that attack.
Yeah, especially considering how low Technical's SCV count was. I guarantee you he was probably muling and not even thinking about the DTs. So his scans would have been very limited there. And just not only the, like as you said, about like the scans, but just the cost of all those DTs. He could have made a bunch more stalkers with that. And, those stalkers could have possibly saved him in that game.
So, but yeah, definitely a close first game. Hopefully we see a lot of more games just like that.
Yeah. You ready to head into the next one?
I'm ready.
Awesome.
Wait, gotta check something. Am I not? Oh, sweet, I am. Okay, apparently my icon's a squid guy. I'm the 4th highest donator on your stream.
Oh, nice.
I watch stats for you. In the upper red position, we have our Terran player, Technical. And in the bottom purple position, we have our Protoss player, Rhizer. Going into game 2 of a best of 7. Winner gets $30, and second gets 15. And so, yeah, Rhizer is now down 1-0. So we'll see if he can pull it back in game number 2.
Yeah, this is definitely, I think, probably one of the closest in skill all-invitational finals we've had. A lot of them tend to be lopsided because, we have a huge variance of players in our clan. But this is one I'm actually looking forward to, I don't know who wins this. But, we'll find out. And,
what do we have? I mean, one, it didn't count, but Meme Lord or Technical did lose to Ultralisk in one game. But also another thing to note is Rhizer did in fact lose to Frugs in the round of 16, which helped Frugs get into the round of 8. But yeah, so I mean, there's definitely a wide variety of players, and while a lot of times that can lead to some very big stompings, And, sometimes you get some upsets, but there's definitely not going to be any upsets here because no matter who wins, I don't think anyone would consider it an upset.
Yeah. So interestingly, both players going for a proxy of sorts this game. Rhizer going for that Imba 3-minute Oracle, and Meanlord going for that Proxy Reaper. And Proxy Reaper on this map, in this matchup, is actually pretty good. So this is one of the few Reaper-friendly maps of the map pool. As we can see, that ledge lets you get in. And Reapers, they're pretty good when you proxy them, since, you can get in really early, get some probe kills.
There's the first probe kill, but yeah, especially, to search that location, it's so far out of the way, but it puts you so close to the base. But Rhizer is able to get that first adept out, so put a little rain on that Reaper's parade.
Yeah.
He does scout nothing, so he immediately starts putting up turrets in his main base, or a turret. Because he knows something's got to be somewhere, so
Yeah.
Worst case scenario is that Oracle.
And he has perfectly timed this out pretty much for getting that missile turret. It's not too early, not too late, right on time.
Oh wow, and look at that, even getting the Cyclone too. And showing all the other Terrans how it's done.
Yeah.
Just gotta proxy that Reaper. And then get that quick scout.
And as we were saying last game about the mech, I'm hoping with the fact that this barracks is over here that we might see some mech play.
Oh, it looks like he was going to try to block the base, but unfortunately Rhizer, one step ahead of him, has already taken that base. But yeah, that's definitely we see. Okay, so we see the second and third factory going down, so it looks like Siegfried is in fact going to get his wish.
Nice.
Let's see, got a second Cyclone. See, just the barracks is literally just chilling in the main.
Yeah.
Is that the Stalker? Yep, okay, so the Stalker. Where is this Stargate? Because the Reaper was actually killed by the Oracle. It had a path to scout it, but Rhizer made sure to kill it before he was able to find it. So technical voicing a little frustration on where is the stupid Stargate that is causing him some early game woes. Not too bad. Definitely he handled it very well. But now he has to expand in his base. He can't do it outside. Just a few things like that are slowing him down.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like in the current meta for PvP or TVP, it's very hard to expand to the low ground immediately unless you go for CC first. So just because of the amount of early pressure that Protoss can do.
Mm-hmm.
So really not surprised to see Tactical going for this.
Yeah, and he's definitely, he's got his 24 workers in the main. He really wants to get those down, to use them to the best of their ability.
Yeah.
Looks like he's finally able to move them down. With these Cyclones here, hopefully he can protect his workers, keep them safe from those nasty Oracle lasers.
Interesting to note, one thing that Tactical is doing, and very commonly does, is he gets fours out really early on in this matchup. He doesn't opt to go for tanks, especially because he already scouted that there was a Stargate. Well, he didn't scout the Stargate, but obviously he sees the Oracle.
Right. Yeah, and hey, tanks definitely not good against any sort of flying unit. That's for sure. And he actually does get one of the Oracles right now. So he's slowly chipping away at his most pressing problem of just getting those Oracles out of his face. I've actually never really seen the skin for the Hellions. I've seen it in game, but of course I'm not gonna spend the time to look at it.
Yeah.
It looks very interesting.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious what they factory on why the Hellions come out dirty. Maybe they should clean it, but it'd be interesting if they got dirty over time. But
it'd be kind of cool actually, skins that wear over time.
Yeah, and then if you go through the water, they wash off.
I feel like that'd be a lot of shit to put in the game.
and then all of a sudden you like clean units come towards your base and like I know where they came from. There's only one water or one wall. I was gonna say one water pit, or you could say like pond or something like that, like a normal human being.
Yeah.
But
we wouldn't want that. Right, so,
yeah, that's right. And stasis words are timed now. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I think that's actually one of my favorite changes. I'm not sure how often you played against Mass Oracle. This isn't Mass Oracle. This game, he only has had 3 of them, so it's not that bad. But like when people would Mass Oracle and they would just like spam stasis words everywhere, like holy fuck, that was so annoying.
Yeah, I don't think I ever dealt with it too much. Usually because the Mass Oracles would just turn on their pew-pew lasers, kill my queen, kill all my drones. So I don't even think it really got to that point. But it looks like we're going to have a small engagement here. And he's quickly going to pull back, or Rhizer is, with that blink. And he's going to try to quickly get up a shield battery. But it looks like his time is very short.
Yeah, shield battery actually gets killed right away there. And these forts are going to do a pretty good job versus these stalkers, but we do have some immortals coming down to join the fray.
Yeah, it looks like Rhizer's actually doing a pretty good job here to get out of the way and then back down. And a few last shots on these doors before he gets taken down, but Rhizer actually holds very well.
Yeah, and that was kind of a bit of a botched engage there. I'm not sure if you noticed, but the 4s were kind of walking for a bit too long there. He wasn't stutter stepping them as efficiently. But I guess that wasn't the biggest deal. I think all in all, Rhizer just had enough to deal with that. Stalkers are a bit better versus 4s now because they have higher damage. And we all know how armor works, where it negates a thing of damage for every level, or for every
And Thors start with armor, don't they?
Yeah. So like 4s used to be better versus stalkers because the stalkers fired a bit quicker but did less damage. So that meant more damage was negated overall. But now, of course, the stalkers do more damage, but they fire slower. But that means that less damage is negated overall for the 4s. So they're not as beefy as they used to be. You really need tanks to deal with them now, I feel like, if you're playing back in this matchup.
And it looks like Technical agrees with you as he's now switched over. Now that, mass air isn't really a thing that he's worried about. It looks like, I'm not sure if those caught any probes, but there are 2 Hellions that snuck in, but then eventually did trip a stasis ward, so they will soon be doomed. But it looks like Technical is taking this time to know exactly where that army is to move out and secure a good position on the map.
Yeah. So what Technical is trying to do here, I feel, is he wants to continue to pressure Rhizer to make sure that Rhizer can't afford to keep switching into techs. Ideally, the mech player wants to build nothing but tanks and Hellions, but they need the 4s, obviously, to deal with their units. But if your opponent's going mass air, then you need to start pumping out tons and tons of 4s. But if your opponent's going ground, you only need a couple. And as we see here, Tank's doing a pretty good job versus his Stalker Ball, killing a lot of units here.
Yeah, there's only a few Zealots that were able to get on top of those tanks, but he actually warps more Zealots right on top of them. But it looks like, nope, the Warp Prism will actually get away, and it'll actually save 2 Zealots here. That's some grade A play right there. Allows some more damage to get put on that tank, but Rhizer sees the army and knows that that's too much for him to handle, and he GG's out.
Yeah. Pretty nice push there from Technical. I didn't really have a whole lot of faith in him after that first engage, but he just kept macroing back at home, and with kind of the botched Oracle opening from Rhizer, he was a bit behind where he should have been, I feel. And he had a lot of Stalkers and Zealots, and that's fine in the early game. But, he really wants just Immortals when he's dealing with that many tanks. Or Zealots. And he didn't have enough of either.
Yeah, he had a couple of Zealots that were getting on the tanks and causing a good amount of problems for him, but they just couldn't stay alive long enough in order to really seal the deal.
Mech in this matchup is kind of looking like the fights anyways, a bit more like Brood War, where it's like you just need lots of zealots and dragoons, and of course, like there's like 2 levels of dragoons now. There's like mini dragoon and like big dragoon.
Shields overpowered dragoon.
Yeah.
Power Mama dragoon.
Alright, you ready to hop into this next one?
I'm ready to hop into the next one. And if I'm not mistaken, that makes it 2-0 for technical.
Yeah. So, this could be a turning point here for Rhizer in this series.
Yeah, it's definitely, 2-1 and 3-0. Definitely very different to play back from. I know, of course, any game you win, it's different, but it always sucks when you're at match point for the rest of the game. But here we have, in the bottom upside down red position, we have our red. Wow! Now I'm even messing up the race. Red Terran, technical, and in the bottom right hand position, we have our purple Protoss Rhizer. Has Rhizer been purple this whole time? Right, he's been purple this whole time.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You watched Brood War. You might be too young for that old game. But there was a point in time where in Brood War you didn't get to pick the color. It was randomly given to you.
Yeah.
And there was a point in time where purple Protoss had an unbelievable win rate. But that is, not the case anymore, as you can now pick your own color. But maybe Rhizer's trying to channel that for the finals. I think he's been purple the whole time, though, so maybe...
You can also pick your opponent's
secret
color, technically.
Oh, I guess that's true, too. Yeah, no.
So, another proxy barracks here from Technical. In TVP, this isn't that big of a deal. We do see 2 gas going down, so he's going to get a very quick factory after this, though. Oftentimes, you might just see like a proxy barracks with a Reaper and do a normal expand. But this is definitely going to be... Whoops. I keep dropping shit today. It's definitely going to be a 1-1-1.
It's definitely going to be a 1-1-1? Are you positive? Are you sure?
Yeah. I mean, we see the barracks and the factory. So, I'm 2/3
Oh, the factory's right there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wait, so this is a 1-1-1 outside of this?
Yeah. So,
okay, I see. I play this game too sometimes, not very often apparently. But yeah, it looks like Rhizer's slowly starting to get more and more vicious. He's even building a reactor out here. Is this a build that you do often, Siegfried?
I don't do it proxy, but I do this versus Protoss. There's a couple different ways you can go about this. So the most common way right now is to go for Cyclones, Marines, and then eventually a Medevac or a Liberator, depending on your preference. Mm-hmm. Personally, I like the getting the Liberator at that starport, but we'll have to see what Technical goes for. Although he is in a bit of trouble since Rhizer went for a 2-gate opener. And Rhizer's going out on the map to deal with this. This could be very bad.
And this is not good. He only has the 2 Marines out. He's getting out a Cyclone soon, but it looks like he's even running home.
Yeah, and still, even just picking off that reactor is a huge impact on how strong this push can be. Because obviously that means that no more Marines are going to be coming out 2 at a time.
Yeah.
So the continued pushing power is a lot weaker now.
Yeah, and interesting. So he does choose to... going to lose this barrack, so he wants to lead a little cookie or breadcrumb trail away from his other 2 proxied buildings. Did he build a barracks back home? So it looks like no, he's just looking to do this without the barracks.
At this point, honestly, I feel like the rush has ended. He might send the Cyclone in to try to do some more damage, but what he really wants to do right now is defend.
See, so oh wow, that probe does in fact get that Nexus off. Let's see. Okay, so he's gonna get Warp Gate in, so he should be able to chase off the Cyclone pretty handily. It looks like he is using some probes to deal with that before he gets the Stalker in, and now that he has the shield battery, he should be completely okay.
Yeah, and look at all these Stalkers at Technical Space.
Yeah, and he's even broken up in here. So it looks like this game, with that good scout in the early game, it's like it might be over.
Yeah. We do have a Liberator coming down actually at Rhizer's base, but I think one Stalker should be enough to deal with that. And GG, Rhizer taking a game in this series.
All right, so yeah, now it's 2-1, and more importantly, Meme Lord or Technical has played a couple of seasons of the Allinvitational, and that is actually his first loss. So he went completely undefeated in a single game all last season, and he made it all the way into the finals of this season without losing a match, or excuse me, without losing a game.
Yeah.
So, definitely something to write home about. Let's see if Rhizer can do it again.
Yeah. We'll get right into this next one. I feel like Rhizer's handicapping himself with the Sue portrait.
Yeah.
Especially because Technical has the Gumiho portrait too.
Yeah, so they're kind of, I said no spoils, guys. But yeah, in the bottom left-hand position, we have our Red Terran Technical, who just dropped his first match, so it is now 2-1 to the Purple Protoss Rhizer, who is starting to climb back into this thing.
Yeah. Looks like there's someone disputing your statistics in chat.
You didn't take a game off him. Stop cheating. That's what I make the rules. So your life is a lie. You don't even exist.
Oops.
I'm glad to know that you still have the stream pulled up in the background, Sean. All right, let's see what Rhizer has planned. Just a gateway, nothing special. Looks like everybody's building their buildings in their own base.
Yeah, Rhizer really whipping Technical here. He's so scared he put his barracks in his own base.
Oh man! See, you gotta make sure you're behind the unbuildable plates.
Yeah. That's why he.
That was the joke. That was the joke that I couldn't remember from earlier. You said what you could.
You can't build on them. You can't build them. You can't build on them.
Oh man, buildable plates. But yeah, nothing too special. Looks like Rhizer's gonna be tickling this worker, and Technical's gonna pull that off right away. He's not gonna have any of that. So he's just gonna do a little bit of dancing until that Marine gets there.
Yeah, normally I don't approve of BM, but when someone attacks the worker building my command center, like, fuck them. Like, that is the most annoying thing.
I gotta check something, because Sean is saying something about something I fixed, so I'm gonna have to go see if Sean edited the Wikipedia page again. I'm gonna yell at him.
You're gonna have to report him on Wikipedia.
No, it doesn't say that. Ultralis Eli. Alright, there you go. So yeah, it looks like a bunker's coming in here. Playing a little bit safe. Let's see. Nope, it looks like Rhizer's base does finish for Technicals, so start getting those yummy minerals to build his economy with.
Yeah. I'm interested that Rhizer goes for that adept first off. One thing I've noticed a lot of Protoss players doing is going for early stalkers in this matchup.
Mm-hmm.
And using them to pressure. Because if you don't have a bunker, like Technical does, you can trade if the Marines quite well with a stalker.
That is true. So I'm sure Technical has seen that once or twice, so he doesn't want to have any of that. So he built that bunker, and it looks like, okay, good, he's a shade right to it. Because, I'm really surprised that, they should at least shoot at the shade, I'm sure
Yeah,
that doesn't
like-
feel good. It may not do damage, but
Honestly,
You know,
if I
maybe it
was sitting in the
tickles.
bunker with my machine gun looking for aliens and I seen this little purple ghost thing running by, I'd fucking shoot it.
and so the Marines are like, no, that's a shade. They're fine.
Like, it's not their
They'll
bullet.
be mean in a second.
They don't have to pay for it. Who gives a shit?
Yeah,
Honestly,
looks like
like,
he's just gonna.
I
he's
just
gonna
shoot
go.
everything. Like,
It's. I think that's the kind of person they look for, right?
yeah, I mean, like,
Yeah,
it
that's what
says
they
in the
want.
lore, these guys are all, like, fucking psychopaths, so, like,
Yeah.
you'd think they'd just be, like, shooting their teammates all the time, too.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, it's surprising how disciplined they are.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh, you've committed crime, society hates you. Here, go stand in this point, and you're gonna let everybody know when the enemy's coming. You have no chance of living, but you know, there you go.
Now, pretty interesting opening here for Tactical again. He is going for this tempo play here, if we want to call it that, where you get 5 barracks really quickly instead of a 3rd command center, and then you just use those to pressure. Normally, what you would see is you'd see a 3rd CC off of a 1-1-1 or a 3-1-1.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And it looks like Rhizer, he did let it finish because maybe he was such in shock of what he was seeing. But he does scan, and actually here, let's go into his vision. He does scan 4 out of the 5 barracks, so he should have a pretty good idea of what's going on. Oh man, and what I'm noticing is it looks like Rhizer often opts for 2 shield batteries. So I think that's what I'm going to go for. I'm going to start doing that.
a lot of DTs here from Rhizer, but there is missile turrets in position. I almost just said siege turrets.
Siege turrets, man. See. Oh, and he's even building one out front.
So yeah, this DT play really isn't going to pay off too well for Rhizer. Looks like
He's
they
gonna get
will
it
get
done.
in there and kill that one missile turret. Not a single DT dying though, which is fine.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that's pretty good, but it looks like he's not having any of that. He's replacing the one and building another one
Yeah.
further out so the work person can't sit right there. So it looks like that'll be the end of that.
Long gone are the days where if you built DTs and you had to kill your opponent.
Man, I wonder, are they going to walk up the ramp? If they walk up the ramp, that might be death of them. Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay. Okay, Rhizer. Way to be fancy. Get that depot.
You know, put in some micro, you get some reward.
Oh, man.
Pavlov's micro.
This micro. Oh, that's a good scan. Spots the whole army. Even saw the probes transferring over, so even though he didn't get a scan on the base, either Rhizer's going crazy or there's a base over there. So again, looks like he's getting Colossus range as well, so I'm seeing a good amount of Colossus.
Mistake there from Rhizer. I'm not sure if you noticed that, but the warp prism got picked off and 3 of the DTs got stuck in the base and killed.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I was way too busy looking at Rhizer's pretty base. But it looks like, yeah, that's definitely not good. And he does get that last DT. So that's, you know, with that pressure gone immediately, Technical jumps up onto the map as he knows that 3rd base is there, so he's going to make Rhizer at least work to defend it.
Yeah, this is going to be tough though. These Marines do have +1, but there's going to be 2 Colossus hit by the time that the Marines hit here. Only one of them will be in position though. But
And it looks like range will be a little ways from done. So at least Technical has that going, but it doesn't look like he scans that and says, screw that, I'm not doing that. And then he's going to go try to drop the main.
which I think is a much better idea. If he just tried to pressure the 3rd right off the bat, I feel like he'd definitely just lose his army because Adepts plus Colossus equals dead Marine.
And it looks like he's going to go for that DT Shrine. Does he turn his attention onto that? Yep, and it looks like he will most likely get it. Nope, it looks like, okay. He's focusing on the Adepts, killing off all those. Now he's going to killing pylons, so actually he's focusing more on the robo.
Yeah,
Luckily,
I think that's a fine target. You can always get the DT Shrine on his way out.
Yeah, and luckily for Rhizer, though, Siege, range did finish, but hey, he's going to have to build again, which is, always annoying.
Yeah. Though, with 3 Colossus out already, I think Rhizer might be fine with Colossus. I'm not sure if you've noticed, but Storm is actually a much better solution in this matchup now because of how Chrono works. So it's a lot easier to get a faster Storm out. So you can get your High Templars out, and they're not useless for as long. So, they are... It is a bit easier to get out Storm in this matchup now, I feel.
Yeah, it looks like Rhizer's checking for a third base, but isn't finding any. So it looks like he's just going to have to pick off at this wall, see if he can get any sort of damage. It looks like these Vikings are also going to try to do the same dance.
Nice amount of damage done there on that Colossus.
And every little bit helps. There's no healing that damage.
Still though, pretty concerning for Technical. He doesn't have a third base yet. So he really needs to make something happen with his drops or with his army. I think his medevacs did come home. So I don't think he has...
Yeah, they did come home, and luckily they weren't picked off. They actually went pretty close to Rhizer's army. But, yeah, it looks like they're pretty even, but just that the amount of money that Rhizer's getting in is just, it's a couple hundred more. And so every little bit of time that time passes, Rhizer's getting a little bit more and more ahead.
Yeah. 2 siege tanks are out, and we do have a decent Viking count at around 8. So he does have the tools to deal with this army. He just needs to set up right. And I think he's pushed in a bit too quickly here. Siege tanks aren't in position yet. Vikings try to kill those Colossus as quickly as they can, but those Colossus have done their job already, killing a lot of these Marines and Marauders.
Yeah, that was definitely a better trade for Rhizer there. You can even see it in the supply. He's now down 30 supply when they were pretty much even. Luckily, it looks like this one medevac will get away without the Stalkers being able to blink on it. So at least that's good for them in the meantime.
Yeah. Looks like this game is going a bit into early Legacy of the Void, where Terrans would just stay on 2 base and float out for a while.
Yeah, this is definitely looking like a good game for Rhizer. If the game, had to call it right now, definitely looks like Rhizer would be evening up the series. But yeah, we'll see if Technical can make some plays here. Maybe do a little bit of harassment with these Vikings to slowly claw his way back into it.
Yeah. 4 Liberators at a time being made for Technical though, so it looks like he is getting ready to hunker down. Not sure how well this Viking harass is going to pan out, but the effort is appreciated.
So it's just something that Rhizer has to deal with, right? Take his clicks and put them somewhere else.
Yeah.
Put them where he doesn't want to put them. See, is he actually going to maybe try to blink in here? What is...
That looks like a really awkward blink spot.
Yeah. That'd be exciting, though.
Yeah.
That tank is not having that. It's going to start shooting. Nope, just out of range. Yep, there we go. Alright, starts to get out of there. That tank slowly starts to... Oh, even more tanks start to pick at him. Okay, doesn't lose that one Stalker. Yeah, so it's... Even though the armies are right next to each other, it's kind of calmed down a little bit. Not as much happening. Rhizer content with keeping Technical on 2 bases, as he is now started mining from his 4th. He is, definitely happy in this position, and is willing just to wait and max out.
Yeah, I really don't blame Rhizer. He is in a pretty good spot this game right now. One thing I think he does have to be worried about, though, is the fact that his army is still mostly gateway units. Gateway units are a lot better now, of course, but still, ideally, you want more of these technical units. You want your High Templar, you want Disruptors, you want carriers even, you want these higher tech units.
So he should take them and link them into his main base, because that's what I want to see.
Yeah. One thing though for technical, his upgrades are actually very behind. He's only on +1 attack, and that's it.
Look at that. It looks like Rhizer's opening up some more space for him with. That is a lot of liberation stuff. But they are weak on this side, and they're actually in front, so he might actually pick them off. And those are 2 disruptor balls. That is a good chunk. He had to ditch the tanks, and because he had to run away because of the disruptors, the tanks are actually going to go down. And so now just a lot of bio for technical.
And it looks like all these gateway units just going to clean house here. All the technicals units dying. That third base is never going to mine. Technical was very far behind in that game. Upgrades were pretty poor. Jeez. And
it looks like technical is not having a good time. Not used to losing in the Allinvitational. Definitely not twice in the same match.
Alright, I'll be right back.
Yeah, no problem. I'll entertain the crowd again. Here, maybe even what I'll do is... let's see, let's go in. All in Discord. Let's see. I'm still there. Still bottom post. Just make a quick reminder in here. Oops, game 5. And let's grab that stream link. You always gotta have that stream link. Alright. And there come thousands of fans flooding to see me perform in all my glory. I actually even wore my All-Invitational jersey for this, even though I was like 90% sure I wasn't going to be on camera, just because it feels so good. Alright, let's see what we have here. Ooh, we got some Hydra quotes. Those are always good. Ooh, there's a raid preview. Ultrask is, where did that go? Let's see. Any good strategies? Nope, no good strategies. We got some cool music stuff. We got some maps for Allinvitational. It looks like that is it. I have completely cleaned out all new messages in the Discord. I have never felt more with the times as Siegfried slowly walks back to his computer. Hey, let me
Right.
Giving that F to Drumhead, I appreciate it. Alright, I'm gonna hop back into game.
Okay.
So we are going into game number 5.
Yeah, tied up 2-2, so we're guaranteed at least 2 more games. I think, yeah.
Yep. With the possibility of 3 more games, but not 4 more games.
Yeah.
I'm all set when you are.
Cool, we'll head right in. So this one's going to be on Abyssal Reef. So this is, a map that's been around in the map pool for a while. Oops.
Yep.
Actually, I just turned on my other screen.
Your units float up.
Yeah.
But then everybody was like, hey, it's also a pretty balanced map. And man, I feel like Technical's been on the left side of the map a lot this match.
Yeah.
We have him in the left hand side, spawning as the red Terran, and on our right lower corner, we have our purple Protoss Rhizer. And did I see a very handsome gentleman with a haircut?
Yeah, I accidentally turned on my my like talk show screen or whatever.
Oh man, I need to get a haircut. Do you want to cut my hair, Siegfried?
No. I don't own any scissors, so...
You don't own a single pair of scissors.
No.
I'm sure drunk Siegfried would find a pair of scissors.
What am I gonna do, steal them from my neighbors?
I find it very hard to believe that your entire household does not have a single pair of scissors.
Like, we have knives and stuff, but, like, I feel like that would be very hard. I could, like, twirl your hair like spaghetti, and then cut it with a knife.
Yeah, that's definitely something to do. Because it would save me like $15-20.
Yeah.
And I could add that to the Allinvitational.
Yeah, I could give you a nice spaghetti blow cut.
Alright, so let's see what we have in the middle of the map. It looks like Technical is looking to do that same push again that he tried 2 games ago that Rhizer was able to scout. But it looks like Rhizer, still currently in the base, knows that something's up because there's the second supply depot and there is nothing going on. Let's see if he remembers back to that game and checks out, sees what's going on. But yeah, we'll see how this turns out. Hopefully it works a little better for Technical this time.
And I think Rhizer's tournament game sense has really paid off here, because he opened up with 2 gate before he even scouted. So he knew that there was a very high possibility of Technical doing something like this. So he preempted that actually and went for that 2 gate to be safer and to be able to deal with any proxies like this.
Yeah, and I mean, and you know, a hint may have been at the end of last game.
Yeah.
Technical seemed to get a little bit frustrated, and normally enough for everyone, but the more frustrated you get, usually the quicker you want to end games.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to, you know, spend 20 minutes getting harassed by DTs and, you know, disruptor balls and everything like that. You want to just get in their face and end it. And it looks like he has been able to get out more units than he was last time, but Rhizer is on the hunt. It looks like this zealot is going to have the very crappy job of finding all these Marines.
Yeah.
And it does die.
So this didn't pan out as well as Rhizer had hoped. Like, for example, like the last game this happened, you seen him fort it very early on. But once the Cyclone gets out and it has those Marines to buffer for it, it's a lot harder to deal with this with the gateway units in an aggressive posture. You really need to be a lot more defensive now. He needs to get up some shield batteries as ASAT, I think.
Definitely. It looks like, yep, there's the first tank. And it looks like one thing... it looks like Technical is a little bit supply blocked. That siege tank, the second siege tank, isn't starting to build. He did just get one depot done, so that should be the end of that. It looks like he is going for that Liberator again. So this is definitely going to be a hefty push. We'll see if Rhizer will be able to fend this off, but it looks like he is going to try to get those 2 shield batteries down. And here comes the push. It's going to be very close on these shield batteries.
This is going to be really tough if Technical gets a good position. As you can see, so hard to engage down this ramp for the Protoss, and you can get so much just area of damage with these siege tanks on the low ground.
Yeah,
as you can see, Rhizer even cleaning at those rocks.
Yeah, trying to get, you know, the ability to just get a little bit more surface area. Oh, but he does get okay force field. At least now he's scaring Technical, knowing that now he has them. So the possibilities there. But it's just ever so slowly these siege tanks are just picking off the buildings. Oh, he does get a Cyclone with the force field. That's definitely helpful, but does take a huge chunk of damage from a siege tank shot. But it looks like he may be eventually trying to focus around. Those 2 stalkers aren't long for this world.
Yeah, this is tough. I think Rhizer missed his chance. I think he really needed to have his units on the low ground here to stop this before it sieged up. I think that's his best chance of stopping that. I don't know what he's going for now. Is he going to try to base trade?
He might. It definitely doesn't look like he's going home.
Yeah.
Yep, and there's not much stopping Technical from getting into this main base. So it looks like we missed an opportunity to have best of game number 4. It looks like as we're heading to a base trade. Here we go.
Yeah, it looks like... Okay, Rhizer was very smart about this, and he kept the probe hidden, and he's going to start a Nexus on this side of the map. It would have been sick to see him bring over a bunch of probes if that Warp Prism, but unfortunately he didn't have time.
Oh, and he...
Sick force field.
No way, is he going to be able to hold long enough? It looks like, yeah, and he force fields again to make sure of it. Now he just needs to make sure that this command center can't get out, but there is that one probe left, or that one SCV left that will... Oh, and he's actually going to spot the base, though. That's a little bit unlucky.
Yeah, I still think this is looking pretty good for Technical. Thing is, even though his entire base is going to be destroyed, or probably will be, he still has his production on the map, which is great for him. And as you can see, he's getting more units to deal with this.
And so as you can see, you know, the best thing about proxying structure, that, you know, when it comes to base race, they're not in your base.
Yeah.
So that way... Okay, it looks like it does go down, but he still has that one SCV. Does he have enough to build? Nope, he does not. So this is all we're really going to see when it comes to bases. And it looks like he's floating his buildings with him. So Rhizer is going to have to engage the army if he wants to win, which most likely he will not be able to do.
Yeah, I don't think with the army that Rhizer has, he can afford to do this. Nor do I think he can effectively base trade versus Technical at this point.
Yeah, this is just too much.
Really smart move by Technical too to get that one medevac. That just would add so much survivability to these forces if Rhizer kept, kept chasing them around the map. But anyways, Technical are gonna take game number 3.
Yeah, so that he takes his lead back. That he lost momentarily, but yeah, that was definitely a close game. He was going for the same build order again, but was able to pull it off this time. Now he is just one win away from claiming his second title, that $30 prize.
Alright, so I guess we'll head straight into game number 6.
Let's do it.
That was pretty unfortunate there for Rhizer. I feel like he went for a great build order to deal with what he expected to come, but unfortunately he didn't respond to it how I think theoretically he should have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of things that went right from the first time that Technical tried to pull off that build that just didn't seem to be there for him. Actually, on the side of the coin that time, and good for Technical. But yeah, as we're on to game number 6, Technical is keeping his theme of being on the left side of the map, in the top position, as our red Terran, and we have Rhizer as our Protoss in the bottom right-hand position.
So this is a nice new map that we'll get to see. Definitely one of the more interesting ones.
Yeah, see, it's funny because like when I didn't realize what these things were when I first started playing, because I don't really look into the maps before I start playing. I kind of just play on them, and then through playing on them and other people's bitching, I sort of figure out, you know, what's going on. But I'm really surprised that it's taken, what is it, 7-8 years to even think of something like this. Because it feels like a very simple concept, but it just takes, you know, a wide open space and just completely changes how the terrain works with just a couple little pink squares.
Yeah. And so me, Lando, and Lumia were playing on the test, or not the test, we're playing on the test patch back when this was just in like test mod or whatever, and on this map, but it wasn't the latter edition. It was like the other edition. So these squares were like all across, like they were like all across here pretty much, I think, or something like that. And so me and Lando were playing versus each other, and a bunch of his siege tanks got like stuck in them, and like he couldn't get across the map. And I ended up winning because like I went for the middle where there wasn't any and like attacked his third base, but all the siege tanks were like stuck in the pink squares.
Oh man! Oh, and to be honest, I didn't even realize this base was here. I haven't, played on this map too much, but I've definitely, never expanded to that gold base. And really, I don't know how I missed that. That was gold.
But the one in the
that's close to your main.
Yeah.
Actually, really probably the one that's closest to your. No, actually, no, the back one's close. But it looks. Yeah.
I've only seen it used a couple times in all my games on it.
It looks like Technical is checking for proxies, which there is one on the map, but it doesn't look like he's quite gonna find it.
Yeah. Kind of surprised he didn't scout up there, actually.
Yeah, because that is unless you want to. Oh man, getting a proxy in that back natural.
A lot of workers going down already. That 3-minute Oracle is so effective.
And he did have the 2 cyclones away, but they just were a little bit, you just can't get him out quite at that 3-minute mark. But it's definitely the closest distance via air. So, if I was a Protoss, which I guess I am now, you definitely want to look at putting him there just because, that 3-minute Oracle just gets there that much quicker.
Yeah.
And if you got it there any quicker than that, it would be the game even started. So, definitely the best place to put it.
Kind of unfortunate there for Technical. He targets both Oracles with 1 cyclone each, so it only takes shield damage on both.
Yeah, that kind of blows, no permanent damage, they'll slowly recharge. But yeah, now starting to get up turrets, that way to have a little bit more permanent force. But yeah, he is just focusing on building Cyclone, making sure that, there we go, there's a little bit of shield damage, or hull damage. But yeah, he's just focusing on Cyclones to make sure that these Oracles don't get much damage done. But it looks like he dove a little bit too far out, and it looks like he's going to try to get more.
Technical units a lot of position here, actually.
Ooh, okay, one Oracle will go down, but one, in fact, does get away.
That's a lot of damage.
Yeah. That's definitely going to slow him down a little bit. As you can see, he even builds a turret before building a command center and the natural as he's moving across the map.
So 6 Cyclones heading across the map now, too. With a couple of shield batteries here and some sentries, I think this is definitely holdable.
Yep, and he has his 2 shield you said that. Now it clicked in my mind. So I guess I don't need to talk about these 2 shield batteries. But yeah, he's even getting that second pile on there just to make sure there's no weak spots. But it looks like he wants to widen that gap a little bit, and he quickly turns away from those rocks, able to make sure he doesn't take any unnecessary damage as he's opening this up. Oh, even getting a 3rd shield battery. We'll see if what he's able to do here. He does get that Zealot, trying to pull these units away from the shield batteries.
Really nice force field, actually, blocking a couple of those Cyclones in.
Yeah, it's almost like those pink squares out in the middle of the map.
That'd be kind of funny if they made it like that, like give the sentries to pink squares.
Yeah, like how there was always like the stuff on StarCraft 1 maps where you just have like permanent force fields in the middle of the map.
Yeah.
Oh, there's an idea, map makers here. Have that one for free. Did I hear a Widow Mine? Oh, yep, there it is. That's interesting. I think this was the first time we really saw mines this game, or this match, this series.
Yeah.
But yeah, now that once they're recharging, they aren't invisible anymore. So definitely, I think one of the heavier nerfs.
Yeah, definitely won't see as much of them as we used to, in my opinion. They're still good, of course. Like, they still deal the same amount of damage, but just don't really have the reusability. And I think they're kind of into more of a more specialized role now.
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely. Which I am not gonna complain about at all.
Yeah.
But ooh, he's actually able to. Wait. Oh, I thought he was going right into that other. That was hilarious. But he's actually able to dodge that mine hit. And there, you can actually see, and now you're able to pick it off. But it looks like Technical is going to back away a little bit, but he does have that siege tank on the high ground, so he'll be just fine. For the meantime, we'll see if Rhizer's looking at warping in, and he's looking at getting some sentries, so that he can get a little battlefield control going on.
So yeah, pretty big tank hits going off on these sentries, but Rhizer going to blink right on top. A bit of a risky blink there, as there is a tank on the high ground though. Nothing on the low ground yet. And these stalkers and sentries will continue to clear out this low ground location. A lot of the SCVs going down and being forced to return to the high ground.
Yeah, I think I definitely would chalk this up to that early Oracle pressure. And it's just one of those things when you slow Terran down just like that, you're able to open up timings for yourself just like that. And wow, that he does lose the immortal, but in the process, that last shot killed the tank. So it looks like an immortal for a tank trade there. Which it's pretty even. Maybe Rhizer could definitely look at keeping that tank count low. But yeah.
There was an attempted run by there in the natural Rhizer by 2 Hellions, but those shield batteries just healing every probe.
Oh wow! Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, it definitely makes that a lot harder. Yeah, I was too busy focusing on that immortal. I didn't even see that coming. Oh, that sentry is so close to that mine.
I'd like to see it send off like a hallucinated something or other.
Up, is it gonna? Oh, that is so close. Up and then backs away. Jeez. Alright, looks like Rhizer's going to come in and try to poke a little bit more. Those tanks are a little bit out of position. Up, and it looks like there the first shot goes, and there goes another couple of tanks sieging up to sort of kick Rhizer out of his natural. Up, there it goes, finally.
And Rhizer is finally getting his own third base up now. Don't think Technical has one just yet. No.
Nope. I don't see it anywhere. Nope. Those are Hellions. You know what they say, if the shield batteries are healing your Hellions, healing your probes, just get more Hellions.
Yeah.
So we'll see if those Hellions will be able to do the job. It's just so weird watching units go through the pink square.
Yeah, it feels so nice when you see like Marines and stuff like getting split in those.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the pre-splitters. Feels nice.
So he's able to do a little bit of damage. Not too much, but...
And honestly, at this point in the game, trading those Hellions for a couple of probes, great trade for the Terran player in my opinion. These Hellions really don't transfer well into the later games of Mech TVP. So it's completely fine to throw them away, keep the Protoss busy, and keep the Protoss on their side of the map, because they're either killing probes or these are cannon fodder, pretty much. They're
Right. Ooh. Oh, it doesn't look like that's enough Cyclones to to kill that Warp Prism, but it does take a little bit of hull damage. So we'll go back home with 2 pretty badly damaged Immortals.
You actually see the Cyclone upgrade come down here for Tactical.
Oh, there we go.
Haven't seen that one yet.
He's trying to get some more Cyclones out, as this army is pretty much only tanks. So definitely something he wants to be careful about. Make sure he spreads them. Doesn't want to get them too clumped up and in a position where it can end up very badly for himself.
Yeah. And With all these charged zealots, I think it's going to have such a hard time engaging on this. Charged zealots do so well versus siege tanks, and as you can see, he just cleans up that army.
Yeah, I think that there just wasn't enough, there just wasn't enough cannon fodder, essentially, at the beginning of any Marines or Hellions or Cyclones to soak up the damage, so that the tanks had to take it all, and they just couldn't deal out the damage in time.
Yeah.
And with that, that ties it up at 3-3, so we are going to our final game. Let's see, Lumia has seen a lot of T-Mech, TVP go tank heavy. Tank heavy. It just dies so fast, I'm not sure what to do it.
Yeah, the thing is, I think a lot of Protoss players don't really know how to deal with mech just yet. You need a lot of zealots to deal with the tanks. However, if you notice the Terran player opting instead for 4s and Hellbats, then the zealots become worthless. So it's really kind of like it's very much how ZV mech goes, where it's like a battle of the compositions. Ideally, Terran would love to just make only siege tanks and win the game, because their opponent's making only stalkers. But your opponent's obviously going to change their composition. So you kind of have to, as a Protoss player, be constantly changing bits of your composition and how you're attacking as well, to keep the Terran player on their feet.
Definitely.
Right. So.
All right, let's get into this last game.
Yeah.
Unless you have something else.
Nope. That's we'll let this last game speak for itself.
All right, let's do it.
And I'm pretty hyped. I don't know the results of this, so we'll get to see who wins.
Yeah. And so with this being a best of 7, no map gets spared. So it looks like they both chose this map as the last one. Maybe they were hoping that it wasn't their deciding for the grand prize of $30,000.
30,000 cents.
30,000 cents. That'd be only 3,000 cents, but maybe Canadian cents.
Yeah.
But trust me, I work at a bank. It's definitely might not be their most favorite map, but it's gonna be deciding whether they get $15 or $30.
Yeah, maybe it will be their favorite map after this, or their least favorite.
Do you want half a tank of gas or a mostly full tank of gas? We'll find out soon. But yeah, it looks like everybody's building in their own base. It all comes down to this. Technical even walling off. I'm pretty sure that's got to be a full wall. I don't think sneak underneath that. Funny enough,
you can put a depot underneath there. It doesn't look like it, but you still need to.
Oh, is that like a... Okay. Oh, okay. Interesting. I've never played a game on this map. I don't have any maps teed up. So my opponents just don't like this map. Yep,
yeah, I know. I've had it unvetoed, and honestly, I was looking forward to getting to play some games on it because I thought it looked really interesting. But I've only played 2 games on it so far.
Yeah, back when I played in more tournaments, I always wanted to make sure that I didn't veto any maps, so that way I didn't get myself in a tournament position where I was playing a map that I never played on. But of course, then I just stopped playing in tournaments. So yeah, that's but I've still kept that mantra. Yeah, it looks like pretty much standard from Rhizer. Looks like nothing too out of the ordinary. So everyone's keeping it clean and standard.
Yeah, this looks to be a Cyclone opener here from Technical, as he is going for that early factory and a reactor. So it could be Cyclones, could be Marines, and then Widowmines. Alright, it looks like it will be Cyclones, as it's the main reason you'd flip that barracks off there.
Yeah, so that way you can get the second Cyclone. Because definitely 2 Cyclones, way better than 1.
Yeah. So this is a build that I actually kind of stole from Technical. This is one I used to do a lot in TVP. Not as much anymore, but definitely pre-patch. I did this one all the time. So the point of it is pretty much just you build 4 Cyclones as quickly as you can while getting the base up. So you still are economically doing pretty good, but you use these Cyclones to pressure or defend, depending on how you want your playstyle to be like. But 4 Cyclones very early on is very difficult for Protoss players to deal with. So you can definitely force them into a lot of awkward situations, and sometimes just straight up win the game with 4 Cyclones.
Yeah, it looks like Rhizer's actually coming across with a probe and 3 Stalkers. So I mean, hey, if you have more Cyclones than they have Stalkers, that's definitely a good situation for you. But it does look like currently he has 2, which definitely is still a good situation for him. So it looks like Rhizer might... Nope, okay, he picks off the Marine and then immediately starts backing up. Yep, and it actually looks like now he's starting to get some Hellions, so potentially keeping the Cyclones back to defend, seeing if you can do some poking with the Hellions, get a couple of probe kills. And it does opt to scan the natural over the main. Doesn't get too much information other than the fact that the base is actually there, as all of his production tech, all of Rhizer's production tech, is chilling in the base, and it looks like he's, once again opting for the blink play, so that he can make sure he can micro his Stalkers to his full.
That's kind of cool if you look at the water underneath the barracks. It's like spursing out because the barracks is floating over it.
Interesting. Huh. Would you look at that? Thanks, Blizz devs. Clan tags still suck, but at least we got barracks water.
Yeah. Barracks water. It sounds disgusting.
Barracks. Well, it looks like... Oh, nope. The Stalkers come back and they actually run into them. So now they're giving chase.
So doesn't look like they're able to kill them before they get in and do some scouting, do some damage. Couple probes going down here. Hellions doing some good work.
Yeah, this is definitely annoying scouting. I mean, even if he didn't get any probe kills, wouldn't have been terrible. I mean, definitely you always want to take the probe kills, but just getting all of that information, the DT Shrine going up, that's definitely, worth it, because, hey, that could be 400 minerals of damage to your worker line in a matter of seconds, so he's definitely doing a good job here, keeping Rhizer on his toes. Oh, I like this little fence back here with the supply depot blocking it off. Got that one little choke, and that goes all the way into your base. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, but it's blocked off by rocks. Okay, that makes a little bit of sense. Okay. But you could get like a quick gold base. Interesting. Okay, I'll stop talking about games that aren't happening right now.
Speaking of stuff that is happening in this game, though, we do have DT Blank on the way.
Oh, hey, see, that's more exciting than talking about a gold base that isn't being taken.
Yeah.
This is definitely going to be one heck of a way to finals. I'm not sure if Rhizer has something specifically planned for this, or if he's just getting it for the utility. But yeah, this is definitely going to be something interesting to watch.
Yeah. This could be really cool if he does like a Nightmare-esque build, where he gets Charge Lots and Blink DTs and just jump right on top of the mech army. Of course, if Technical builds a lot of Hellbats, then that's going to be pretty tough to do, especially if he gets Blue Flame, which it looks like he is. So, not sure how I feel about this.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. This game seemed like both players wanted to play super standard, but I think this is essentially as far away as you can get. And he actually is going to have to sort of... once again, I mean, he didn't get a lot of damage, but just knowing that all of a sudden, hey, there's like... What is this, like 8 DTs? I guess I should have stopped in the middle. 7 DTs. That's noteworthy. Definitely someone's up to no good if they have 7 DTs chilling at their third.
Yeah. Luckily for Technical, he already has missile turrets in his mineral lines, so he's going to be safe on that front. But still, that's a lot of DTs to deal with, and hopefully he starts backing up some scans.
Yeah, this is yeah, no, the DTs are just chilling in there. What are these? Okay, so he's getting more stalkers, chilling off on the DTs for now. But oh man, I'm super excited. I want to know where this is gonna go. I want to see some DT blink.
What if he never uses it?
I don't speak like that. That'd be such a tease.
You know,
GSL finals just gets all the weird upgrades, never uses any of them. Yeah, it looks like definitely, as Lumia was saying. Let's see, saying a lot of tank heavy. He sees a lot of tank heavy styles, and that's definitely looks like what this is. You got a couple of Hellions, but I mean, when you have more tanks than Hellions, that's sure a heck of a lot of tanks. It looks like he is in fact trying to get his third base down. He's building some preemptive missile turrets as he knows the DT area, and now he's going to float it down and look to start mining from there as Rhizer is on his way down the middle of the map with a good amount of DTs. Let's see, we're actually low on scans. We only have 2.
There's a Raiden though.
Oh, yes, yeah, okay, that's good.
Will it get picked off, though? Huge amount of damage coming in there from Rhizer.
Oh, wow.
But still, I think this mech army will be able to clean this up at the end of the day here. There is a bunch of Immortals still left over here, or actually, maybe I'm speaking too quickly. Rhizer just destroying this mech army.
Yeah, that was a ton of tanks that just went down. I don't know if it was the DTs being able to blink on top of them, the stalkers being able to blink on top of them, but that was definitely a lot of damage. And I'm not sure if Technicals are going to be able to rebuild his army in time. I mean, hey, that was a lot of time to get all those units out that he just lost. Let's see, and it looks like, I mean, you know, Rhizer still has 3 of his Immortals, which is always good to keep. He has a bunch more DTs and Stalkers. You know, Rhizer looks to definitely be in a great position for the rest of this game. Let's see, and it looks like we're even starting on Tempest here. The first 2 Tempests do pop out as now Technical, you know, seeing how he took a lot of damage, wasn't really able to get up his third when he wanted to, is looking to do a little economic damage himself. Let's see here. So it looks like with that base half mining, Rhizer is about bases ahead. He has a gold here. So there's definitely a lot that Technical needs to do in order to sort of keep economically even in this game. But he's slowly inching forward here. Ooh, and immediately the Raven gets sniped by the Tempest. And so now the DTs are all over the units. And it looks like Rhizer's going to clean this up. And then he might be able to push in. And there he calls it. That was quite the push.
And Rhizer has done it. Rhizer has taken the throne again. He is your Allinvitational XII champion.
So yeah, there you have it. Our first 2-time champion in the Poof area. Proud winner of $30. Technical not leaving empty-handed though, getting $15. That was definitely an exciting last series. That DT Blink, it was in fact used. It was amazing how quickly those tanks went down.
Yeah, holy shit! Like that one push was just so crisp.
But yeah, and there we have it. Our casting marathon is done. Yeah. We have casted the why am I blanking out? The consolation match for third, where Grip was able to take out World is Doom in 3-1. We casted our games, the best of games, where everyone will be able to vote, and we have Rhizer taking down Technical for his second All-Invitational win.
Yeah, well, that was pretty fun. I enjoyed casting all that.
Yeah, that was a pleasure. Thank you for having me not do this alone. That would have been terrible. My voice is already, sort of feeling it.
Yeah.
I'm glad I could take little mini breaks. All right, but unless Sig has anything to say, we'll see you guys next season. Most likely that'll start after the new year, but not far after, so don't worry, you don't have to wait too long.
Nice. Well, that'll be it for us tonight. Have a good night, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.
Peace.